Sal Vulcano, famously known for Impractical Jokers and multiple podcasts, recently came to Seton Hall University to put on a show for the students. WSOU News sat down with him to talk all things comedy and all things pandemic. Here's what he had to say. So Sal, you said on stage tonight that today is your first live event in 1 year and 5 days. How do you feel being back on stage?
I have so much fun doing it, so that kind of takes over, but totally rusty. But hopefully, you guys can't tell. Remembering all that and then, deciding with all you guys at, between ages 18 and 21, what material would work best and not. And then I wanted to, do some stuff up top where I would just, talk about the school and stuff like that. I knew I would. I always come up and have fun, and you guys, everyone's always so respectful, so it's but there's definitely rust. There's a couple times I said some things out of order, forgot some punchlines or tags that I would normally say, or just went back. But it was fun, and I really enjoyed, when a lot of people were, calling out stuff. Just, I like talking to the audience, too. But I think it went, for me, it went as good as I'm happy with it. It went as good as I could have hoped.
So what really made you want to pursue comedy?
I think very young, I would put on shows for my family and my classroom in school and get laughs. And, I got addicted to getting laughs, I think. And I never really thought that I would do this for a career. I started doing when I met the guys, we were 13. So I'm 44, right? So we started doing sketch and improv comedy, and that was so fun, and it fulfilled us. The goal was never to be here where we are now, but we just kept doing it because we liked it so much. And then sometimes the opportunity, we had failed so much before we got the show, but sometimes the opportunity strikes and we were prepared for it. That's what happened with this, and then I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then once I was on TV and had a little bit of a following, I was like, well, what I really always wanted to do was do stand-up. So now I'll try to back in to that. But it was a little scary because I hadn't done it before, but people know me. So to get on stage and they expect something right away, I have to be funny. So what that is just a lot of work every night in little bars and little theaters and little clubs in the city, just repetition over and building up a set over a couple of years. And then when I felt that I would make myself proud, it wouldn't be embarrassing, I started doing, touring and doing headlining and stuff. So I don't know, I just think it has to be the most fun job, right? I thought I would do comedy no matter what, even if it wasn't my career. So this is just a bonus that it ended up being my career.
Over the pandemic, you recently started some podcasts. What do you like about podcasting?
I started the two that I do now, Hey Babe and Taste Buds. I started them over quarantine because I was locked down. So I was like, let me just film something out of my house. I can be creative. I can keep my mind sharp, and then just get another avenue of being able to connect with fans. So it's a blast because the two people I do them with are other comics. They're two of my best friends. It's just it's like the show in another way. I get to do the show with 3 of my best friends from high school. I don't know how you ask for a better job than that. And then the podcast I'm doing with 2 of my other best friends right now, you know what I mean? I didn't think it would get that popular, but I think people needed something to do. So right now it's more popular than we thought it would be right now. So we're really happy about that. And then Q and I used to do one called WSOU that everyone loved and wants to come back. And we might bring that back too.
So what would you say is the worst punishment on the show you've ever had to do?
It was so much easier to answer that 10 years ago. Now I've been punished a million times. And I never really sometimes I watch the show. Not sometimes, most of the time I watch the show and I don't remember anything about it, which is a real weird experience to watch yourself and have no recollection. So I kind of can, sometimes when the show's on, because they play it all the time, I could watch something the way you watch it, not know what I'm going to say next. You know what I mean? So I don't really remember too many things. One time they put me in a swamp in the bayou in New Orleans for the day. And it was just a muddy swamp with alligators and everything. And I have a germ thing. And I'm just afraid of getting parasites and all that stuff. And then they had I didn't know they even sold these things, but they had a remote control fake alligator come out of the bottom of the swamp. Scare the hell out of me, so probably that. Or any of the other 100 ones.
What has been the highlight of your career so far?
Not just being able to do stuff with my friends, but the fact that my family's been on the show. And they go to my sisters, my nieces, my dad, my mom. They've been in the movie, all that kind of thing. It's I'm really happy to share the experience I'm having with them. And then we do this cruise that we did 4 years in a row. My whole family would come. And to mix my family with this life and to have them see everything firsthand, experience some of the joy that it has brought me, I think sharing it with my family has been the best thing. I never knew they'd be on the show, and they love it. Like, my nieces love it. My dad's so proud. And my dad will, like, tell everyone, from the dentist to the server at a restaurant, you know, my son is this and that.
Reporting for WSOU News, I'm Veronica Gail.